Hey guys, let's talk about some things. Before we get into the subject matter today, it's important to note that just because we're working on stuff, just because we're identifying things, doesn't mean that everything is fixed. These negative qualities don't end up just disappearing, they actually stay with you forever. Just like any skill, you have to continually work on these things to keep these things at bay and to starve them of power. For me, in working on myself, that is what I'm in the business of, is starving these things of power. It's about being aware, practicing your skills, and executing your skills when it matters most. Believe me, you will be tested. To reiterate, I don't have everything figured out. I am trucking along on this journey just as well as anybody else. However, I feel like the things that I'm working on and the things that I've discovered about myself can help a lot of people. Today, we're talking about codependency. Like I said in the last video, I lost someone about a month ago that is very special to me. I haven't talked to her a whole lot since we've broken up, so I haven't had permission to use her name. So for now, her name is going to be Bobby. Also, to be clear, codependency is not just in romantic relationships. Codependency can be parent-child relationships, it can be friendships, it can be work relationships. How you present yourself socially can be very codependent. And that's exactly what was happening with me, all of the above. When it came to me and Bobby, I based my moods off of her moods, the things she was doing, and the way she was acting. If she was having a good day, I was having a good day. If she was struggling, I was struggling. If she didn't respond to a text a certain way, it threw me for a loop. What this did is it made her filter how she would respond and act with me. Pretty soon it becomes inauthentic, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. I even told her a few times, hey, what you're giving me, I'm just gonna give back. That's called mirroring, not necessarily a good thing. What that indicated was I didn't have control of my emotions, and I was just gonna base everything off of her emotions. Talk about pressure for her. So now she's feeling responsible for her own emotions and also for mine. Which leads me to the second thing in codependency, is I always felt responsible for her feelings. I thought that if she was feeling a certain way, it was always because of me, whether it was happy or sad. I felt this tremendous responsibility to make her happy, and if she was feeling anything but that, I was doing my job wrong. Guys, what this does is that it signals that she's not allowed to feel a certain way. So now she has to send things through a few filters to make sure that it makes me happy, and now she's also worried about her own happiness. A part of codependency is depending on partners to make you happy when they're not supposed to do that. On a completely separate token, let's talk about the next thing. The need for other people to like me or think highly of me. This has been something that I have struggled with my entire life. For as long as I can remember, my reputation is everything. You can ask Bobby, my ex-wife Melissa. I have this huge emphasis on their family liking me, on their friends liking me. And if they liked me, everything was okay. Here's the thing, guys. If everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong. You're inauthentic. You're not your true self. Going hand in hand with this, seeking validations and opinions from people and it never being good enough. There's been several times where I've asked people's opinion on things and it just never cured the itch. It just made me want to ask more and more people. This is a major problem because at the end of the day, I make my own decisions and I need to be okay with my own decisions. Codependency can manifest in a lot of different ways and it has affected my life in multiple areas. Now that we've identified the what, let's talk a little bit about the why. Without getting into too much detail or trauma dumping on all you guys, I was actually sexually abused as a kid. Childhood trauma, sexual abuse, things like that lead to abandonment, and abandonment leads to codependency. Listen, I had a great upbringing. I had amazing parents that loved me. The abuse had happened several times outside of the home, and it ended up having long-term effects on me. If you suffered from child abuse in any way, shape, or form, and you find yourself as codependent, it is not your fault. However, it is now your responsibility to handle it. Like I said, there's a plethora of reasons why codependency can form and happen, but let's talk about some of the hows as far as trying to get a handle on it. First thing on the how is going to be detaching from your source of dependency. I'm not saying if you're in a codependent relationship that you need to end it now. What I am saying is there needs to be a form of detachment and boundary set. When Bobby ended the attachment with me, it was horrible. It hurt. She did what was necessary to put me on the path to healing. I think she recognized and understood that I wasn't strong enough to do it on my own. When I talk about setting boundaries, you need a clear line as to what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate. You as a person need boundaries with not only the people that you're codependent with, but also with yourself. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries enable healthiness. And it took me over 31 years to actually realize and understand that. If you're in a codependent relationship, I recommend setting boundaries with your partner. Saying, okay, this is what I need, this is what I can't have. And have your partner do the same exact thing. If the boundaries and needs aren't met, go from there. Again, I'm not telling you guys to break up with your people, but know that there are ways to douse the fire of codependency. Another thing that is vital is doing things that build your self-esteem. Throughout my past 2 relationships, I actually let my hobbies die. I stopped doing the things I love doing. I focused solely on them, which is exhausting for both me and my partners. But again, that goes back to boundaries, right? Taking time for yourself, doing things that you love doing without your partner. Building your self-esteem helps with social codependency too. If you're always down in the dumps, yeah, you're gonna be seeking validation from pretty much everybody. I was down in the dumps for a long time, and I sought validation from more people than I should have. Again, when you're codependent, you never get enough validation. When you have some sort of detachment from people that you're codependent with, when you set healthy boundaries with yourself and with other people, and when you do things to build your self-esteem, doing these things and having these things done to me has helped me douse the fire of codependency in my own life. Codependency can look different for everybody, but at the end of the day, it is draining, not only to the people that you're associated with, but to yourself. Let's talk about it in the comments below. What has helped you guys with codependency? How does it manifest in your life? I'm dropping this video a day early, so happy Monday, everybody. The next time I see you guys will be Thursday, and until then, chin up, deep breath, let's heal in real life.